Hi there. This will never not be awkward at the start. My name is Jenny, and you found yourself in an episode of DVD Unboxings. Cue graphic. This is a show where we celebrate the lost art of the DVD. People of a certain age will know what I'm talking about, and for everybody else it'll make it super clear how old I am. No, I don't really care about my age. Actually, at work the other day, somebody was like, oh, I can ask him what age he is. He's a dude. And I was like, hey, you know what? You can ask women what age they are too. Because none of us should be ashamed of how old we are. Because it's fine. It's a part of living. I know it's the inevitable march towards our death that means that we are frightened of gaining another year every year. But both things are inevitable. Aging and death. Turns out the old adage is incorrect because you can get around taxes if you want to. I don't know how. Anyway, today is a very, very special edition of DVD Unboxing. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, Jenny, hasn't every edition been special so far? Why, yes, that's correct, audience viewer. But the reason that today is special is because we're watching the special features of a DVD of a movie that I've actually seen. Today we're unboxing the DVD, A Town Called Panic. I'm allergic to this movie. So what is A Town Called Panic, you ask? Well, A Town Called Panic is a stop motion animation feature. And when I say feature, it is like 70 minutes or something. 75 minutes long, so it does qualify as a feature, but it's a short one. A Town Called Panic started out as a TV show. I don't know why or how I stumbled upon it, but I managed to catch some of these little shorts, and then I became obsessed with it because it is such a delightful, joyous show. Based on like those little figurines that you would get as a kid, or maybe not these days so much. When I heard that there was a movie coming out, you better bet your bottom dollar that I was going to see it, and it was the best investment I ever made. It was what it said on the tin, which is a fun, silly animation. It was one of my favorite movies that I saw that year. I've never actually watched the special features on this, which is a crime, obviously, because I love the movie so much. That's what we're gonna do, and that's why it's special. It's special because I've actually seen this movie, and I can talk about the movie to a point. God, it was a long time ago that I saw this movie. The other thing that's worth mentioning is that this is the first time that it's a movie that comes with laurels. It was in the official selection of the Melbourne International Film Festival, the Festival de Cannes, and the Toronto International Film Festival. And Empire says is a dazzling example of auteur animation, very, very funny. And you wouldn't disagree with Empire, would you? An interesting note, and also proof that it is an Australian DVD that I'm holding. There's a very large PG down the bottom here, which is the rating for parental guidance. The show isn't necessarily like kids material. It was, and probably that's why when I found it, I was like, I bloody love this, and I love this from an adult standpoint, not from a child standpoint, because I have a developed mind. My mind is not that of a child. My intellect is far beyond that of a child. Thank you very much. But a child could appreciate it because it's silly. And really, what adult can't appreciate silliness? If you're an adult that can't appreciate silliness, what the fuck are you doing here? You're probably in the wrong place. Let's have a look at the back cover quickly. It's a truly magical animated world. I wish I'd thought of that. Peter Lord, producer of Wallace and Gromit and co-founder of Aardman Animation. The unlikely trio of horse, cowboy, and Indian live together in a crooked little house on the top of a hill in a town called Panic. While Horse pines for the sultry piano teacher Madame Longley, Cowboy and Indian are horrified to discover that they have forgotten Horse's birthday. Lots to unpack here, guys. Lots to unbox. Let's go. That is a happy birthday note from my ex-boyfriend. I actually think that this is from a different DVD, but somehow it's ended up in A Town Called Panic. Love everything that's happening here. What is this gonna be? It's just gonna be me gushing. I'm just gonna gush about how much I love this movie. Are you ready? Because you know what's happening now. There's a disc in my hand. What does that mean? Disc in my hand. What does that mean? Disc in my hand. Disc in my hand. Disc in my hand. The computer is not loving the sound of this. God, I really thought that wasn't gonna work. The menu's in 16 by 9, that's nice to see. Yep. Look at horse there. There's brick. I'm gonna watch the start of this.
Cher cheval, j'espère que la santé va bien. Je te souhaite un très bon anniversaire. Oh.
Hein? C'est ton anniversaire?
Ben oui, comme tous les 21 juin. Bon, je vous laisse.
Anniversaire de cheval. Et on n'a pas de cadeau. Oh non, pas de cadeau. Qu'est-ce qu'on va faire, André? Je ne sais pas, cowboy. Laisse-moi réfléchir.
Je ne sais pas, cowboy. It just makes me so happy. I'll work up backwards. Madman
We all
propaganda.
love seeing a good Aussie film. But with film piracy now costing $230 million a year, expect to see a lot less. Burning, buying or downloading pirated films may seem harmless, but what you're really burning is the future of Australian films.
It's not wrong. Let's move on. Theatrical trailer of A Town Called Panic so you can get an idea of what you're in for.
Plus romantique que la leçon de piano.
Comment vous faites de la musique?
It's just like a bunch of visual gags.
Panique au village.
What a beautifully simple premise as well. They forgot to get him a birthday present, so they go on this huge adventure. Okay, photo gallery. Oh, it's a slate. That's kind of cool. Gosh, I wonder how long this movie took to make. It's just so clever. Alright, the Obsessive Compulsive short film is a short film chosen by the Panic filmmakers as the winner of the Zeitgeist Stop Motion Animation Contest. Let's give it a watch. Oh, 17-year-old. Oh, hey, I want to look her up. Surely not. Africa's richest woman, an eldest child of Angola's former president José Eduardo dos Santos, 47 years old. Did she lie about everything? Isabella. I see. Animator slash artist slash human person living in Miami Beach. That looks delicious. Now I'm just stalking this person that she seems like a cool chick. Man, she was raised in South Florida. I had, 6 years in... Well, I had 2 proper years in South Florida and then 6 years... 2 proper years in South Florida, maybe like 5.5 years all up in Florida. Would it be weird? I follow this person based off of A Town Called Panic DVD. Alright, I'm gonna pocket that thought and stop stalking that poor girl and watch her actual stop motion. Haven't even decided whether I like her stop motion or not. I've just decided I like her, so I have to like it now. Isabella, we need to talk about the fact that this is interlaced, okay? Like, if anybody saw this last week, they would know how much I hate interlacing. And I would admit that myself as a teenager didn't know any better and interlaced crap all the time. And I get it. But honey, you're on a DVD. You're a published animator in this way. And it's interlaced. I love you. You're a friend of mine since 5 minutes ago. But come on. It's such a shame. What the fuck is that? What arm used to be attached to. That was very cute, Isabella. Alright, let's go to test shot comparisons. I don't know why we're doing this backwards. This is just how it is. See, I'm very interested to see what it'll be like the making of, because, you know, there's this real figurine element to the characters. So is it that there are a bunch of figurines that they've like have they made up a bunch of these mocks so they can like move his legs and stuff? Oh, how? God, it's so... Do you ever think about how there's so much stuff in this world that you don't know, that you don't understand? And yes, that extends to the idea of, in a survival situation, oh my God, there's so much I don't know and I wouldn't know how to survive. But I mainly get hung up on these sort of highbrow things where it's like, wow, like, there's just so much stuff in this world to know and you'll never know all of it. And look, how cool is that? How do they do the water that way? Like that one before, the droplets, is that glue? Brilliant. Ooh, deleted scenes. Panique au village, scène no utilise. I used to be able to speak some French and now I can't speak any languages at all. Okay, here's how this is going to go. We'll watch this, and then you have to decide whether this should have stayed in the movie or not. And having not seen the movie, you have to decide whether it stays in the movie or not. Alright, no. Jesus. Don't need it. God, imagine the pain of cutting stop motion animation scenes. So like animating this full thing, doing their set, everything, and then at the end of it being like, it just doesn't work in the movie. No wonder they included it on the DVDs, because it's so heartbreaking. Oh, that's right. There's this weird subplot of like a snowball creature that throws snowballs all over the world. Oh, I forgot about that. That's what that big penguin is. We're up to interviews with directors Vincent Patard and Stéphane Aubière, Belgian boys. There are lots of little ones.
Panique au village, c'est un vieux truc que j'avais fait à l'école il y a 20 ans. C'était à la Cambre, à Bruxelles. Et puis j'ai filmé 2-3 objets qui tournent autour des petites maisons et d'autres choses comme ça. Et puis en voyant ça, en voyant les rushs, je me suis dit tiens, ce serait bien de pouvoir rentrer dans ce village, mais c'est pas possible, il y a trop de travail, donc je vais faire plutôt un grand paysage en papier mâché.
I do like that these are little snippets of an interview, like snackable, as they would say in marketing meetings these days. It's snackable content, but also they end in weird places.
Ce qui nous est venu spontanément à l'idée, c'est en fouillant dans les brocantes et les choses comme ça, dit ah tiens, ce qu'on trouve le plus facilement, c'est un cheval, un cow-boy, un indien. Il y a plein de positions différentes, donc on s'est dit bah voilà, c'est ça les personnages principaux. Il suffit de leur mettre des couleurs un peu différentes, genre comme ils ont des couleurs un peu absurdes, surtout l'indien. Bah, ce sera notre marque de fabrique, c'est vraiment ces couleurs, mais sinon pour le reste c'est des personnages anonymes, des jouets comme on en voit partout, comme tous les gosses ont utilisé ça avant.
Mais probablement que c'est joué à une période, je sais pas, fin des années 90, comme ça, tous ces jouets se retrouvaient systématiquement dans les brocantes parce que les gosses jouaient avec autre chose, quoi. Probablement il y avait une mode de dinosaures et tous ces machins-là, donc les cow-boys et les indiens, hop, poubelle. Et nous, tout ce qui est poubelle, on récupère.
This is the true Toy Story. So Toy Story, the idea about them coming to life and getting a second life and all this stuff, no. The real Toy Stories, they get thrown in the bin, they stay there until some weird animators pick them out of the bin and make a movie out of them. But also, how cool is that? Here I was thinking like, oh, this show was designed, or like the show came together because they liked the idea of using those little kids' toy figurines, when really it was the opposite idea. They liked the idea of using models, so it came from the technique first. They found their characters. Rather than coming up with the characters, they found their characters. This is a successful DVD feature. They could have picked a better location than this. Come on.
Et moi, je me sens directement, enfin, au niveau des idées, moi, je me sens tout de suite plus à l'aise quand on est devant la caméra. Il y a toujours des petits machins qui viennent au niveau de la mise en scène. C'est des machins, tout d'un coup, je me sens comme libéré parce que moi, je suis toujours un petit peu coincé au moment d'écriture.
I mean, that sounds like the language of a live-action director, not an animation director. To say, like, once I'm behind the camera, that's when I start having ideas. Before that, not so much. Now it's time to go for the making of Panic.
Je suis formel jambon à cornes. Panic au village est le long métrage d'animation le plus torboyotant de l'histoire du Cinoche.
That's a big call.
Panic au village, c'est l'univers dont on a tous rêvé quand on était gamin, en tout cas les garçons. On a tous joué avec des figurines.
Who is this guy? I'ma get him.
Figurines de cow-boys et d'indiens, on a tous joué avec les animaux de la ferme. C'est vrai
I played with toy farm animals as well. I didn't have cowboys and Indians, I don't think. Because that is not a stereotype that we wish to perpetuate in this world. However, I do love this movie, even if it has a cowboy and Indian as their main characters.
Sinon, la Belgique au moins de Bruxelles.
But they don't act like stereotypes. Am I defending? I don't even know what the line is anymore. The point is, it's a really fun movie.
Et c'est cet univers-là, devenu adulte, mais qui a gardé sa part d'enfance, qui assume sa part d'enfance.
And that is truly what's really fun about it. Because it is just silly. It doesn't have to be anything more. Not everything has to have deeper meaning. Joy has its own purpose. Yes, I have a bone to pick with the trend in comedy where suddenly everything became like it had to have this moment where you saw that the character was a real human being, real, peel back the curtains of comedy. No, it can just be joyful. It can just be. We are all just existing, and that's great.
Yeah! Yeah!
What is this? I've never seen Pic Pic before, but I feel like...
Je m'appelle André. Et moi, j'aime bien péter.
Wait, I need to put that on my list of things to look at later. Honestly, it was my favorite cartoon I'd ever seen, and then became the most horrifying cartoon I'd ever seen.
La naissance de Panic au village, ça s'est passé comme ça. Jean-Michel, il était architecte et surtout il se faisait chier le soir. Donc il s'est dit une fois, je vais faire des petites maisons. Qu'il avait trouvé des plans dans des boîtes à eux et il a fait ce petit truc-là. Et voilà, que puis nous, quand on a vu ça, on trouvait ça tellement con qu'on s'est dit on voudrait bien participer aussi à ce projet.
Puis toi, tu étais spécialiste bagnole.
J'ai fait des horribles petites bagnoles. On faisait tout ça parce qu'on n'avait pas grand-chose à faire. On n'avait pas la télé.
Pas Internet. C'était ça ou boire des bières tout le temps, donc c'est un peu fatigant.
We had nothing else to do. It was either that or drink beer, which can get tiring. Get that put on a pillow.
Ça a dormi dans des boîtes pendant 10 ans avant que ça revienne un petit peu à la surface, mais voilà, c'était un essai.
Et moi, je suis retombé sur Panic au village. Alors, j'avais complètement oublié, je l'avais vu à l'époque où tu l'avais fait. Et puis là, je retombe dessus sur la cassette VHS et je me dis, mais c'est incroyable ce truc.
I wonder if I should watch something back that I made when I was a dumb idiot. And maybe I'll be like, oh, hang on a second. I meant to make parody videos of Lord of the Rings.
On a été approché par des studios Hartman qui avaient soutenu la série en la vendant en Angleterre à des grosses chaînes de télé, en faisant les doublages anglais aussi. On dit gardez les cow-boys et les indiens comme ils sont, mais on va vous les faire en plus grand pour les gros plans, on va faire des moules, on pourra mettre un peu de plasticine, on va un peu tricher. Et c'est pas qu'on soit rigoriste, on s'est dit mais non, c'est plus Panique au village, alors autant le faire complètement en 3D ou autant faire autre chose. Panique au village, mais c'était pas de l'obsession d'être rigoureux, c'était vraiment, non, ça, l'esprit Panique, c'est ça, c'est de travailler avec des petits cow-boys et des petits indiens, donc on peut pas tricher. Et donc Hartman n'y a pas cru, donc Hartman s'est retiré du projet.
Hartman. I wish I'd thought of that. Peter Lord, producer of Wallace and Gromit and co-founder of Aardman Animation. I do love that people being like, this is what this is. This is the tone of this thing. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to be what it is. Bluey is a good example of that now, where they refuse to like take the Australian accents out, and it's still doing great in the US. So the Australian accent prevails. The Australian accent's not so bad. See, so they did like take pieces from multiple figurines.
Par exemple, pour le cheval, on a développé une marche beaucoup plus lente que dans la série. Et là, il y avait 8 attitudes différentes. Donc là, on voit les 8 positions de cheval. Ça, c'est Madame Longré, oui. C'était 6, je pense, Madame Longré.
Ouais. Et puis, on voulait aussi qu'elle ait une attitude plus féminine, qu'elle marche moins comme un gros cheval, comme il le fait, lui.
This is really cool. I just like learning about how they did it. I told you that this was just going to be gushing and that I just love this movie. Here's the thing. I do love computer animation. No doubt. There is some amazing stuff that is done in computer animation. But you can't deny that stop motion has an added element of craftsmanship. Like having painters and modelers and costume designers, like there's just so much more world to be tangibly created.
Et une feuille par jour, il y a environ une dizaine de personnages par feuille. On a 55 feuilles, donc ça fait à peu près 500 personnages pour un bloc. Il y a 3 blocs, donc environ 1500 personnages, je pense.
1,500 figurines went into this movie. That's so cool. I love this. Can you imagine even just like the amount of design that has to go into thinking of what figures, what shapes you'll need, what poses you'll need? So cool. I mean, that's the other thing about stop motion, right? You can play whatever music you want. You don't have to be quiet on set for animation. You can have whatever this is. Man, I'm amazed at how hands-on they are.
Il fallait qu'ils animent eux-mêmes leurs scènes. Ça posait parfois des problèmes de production parce que ça leur prend beaucoup de temps. Mais quand on les voit animer une scène, ils sont d'une concentration extrême. Vincent et Stéphane sont dans l'instant, sont là avec leurs personnages, sont complètement plongés, les yeux rivés sur leurs figurines ou les yeux rivés sur leur écran de contrôle. Il ne faut surtout pas passer à ce moment-là parce qu'on les déconcentrerait. Et d'ailleurs, il y a une ambiance quasiment monacale à cet instant sur le plateau.
L'endroit exact où je dois planter le bazar.
Even I feel like I should be quiet here. Like I should be whispering here. God, I do not have the patience for this. It's a different kind of person. You do have to be a monk, completely devoted. Honestly, I would say that this is an excellent behind-the-scenes documentary because it's fascinating, it's answering all my questions, and I love it, every second of it.
Et je crois que pour moi, c'est pour ça que ça s'appelle Panique au village, parce que tout est à paniquer, tout est à paniquer. Passez-moi le sel! Ah! C'est vraiment ça, hein? C'est vraiment, mais là, ils sont défaits! Tu vois, ce genre de choses, toutes les choses les plus banales sont
sont cause pour panique. Hein. Les pirates s'entendaient formidablement entre eux, par-delà toutes les lois, par-delà les frics.
I'm sorry. Was that guy's description that he's thrower of pies? What is that? Thrower of pies and pamphleteer. Thrower of pies. Okay, quick little sidebar. This is actually from the future. Like, I'd finished everything and shut it all off, but then I was like, actually, I just found out this really interesting thing, so I'm going to quickly pick that up where I left off. Well, I just googled Noel Godin, Belgian writer, and it says here, he gained global attention in 1998 when his group ambushed Bill Gates in Brussels, pelting the software magnate with pies. After bombarding Gates, Godin allegedly said, "My work is done here." What about us? That's awesome. How weird. I love this fact. History is sometimes really fun. Okay, and now just proceed to the normal YouTube wrap-up stuff. That was great. If you are a fan of Town Called Panic, or a fan of animation, or art, or cinema, that was a good little behind the scenes of how that movie was created. Well, that was a true delight. I apologize for how earnest and unfunny this episode of DVD Unboxing probably is. I really feel like I learnt something. I didn't know I had that many questions about how they made A Town Called Panic, but now I have a better idea of how it was done, and it was super interesting and not at all what I expected. Town Called Panic, whether it's the series or the movie, I can heartily recommend, will deliver in spades the joy you need. That's enough of this earnest bullshit. Genuine feelings, genuineness in this climate, in this day and age? Well, that has been another edition of DVD Unboxings. How did you like doing a movie that I have seen and enjoy? Is it better, worse? I mean, I've got other movies on DVD that I have seen and enjoy. I've never watched the special features because, in fact, I love the idea of special features, never got around to them very often. That's not something I should admit. Moving on. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. I think it still counts towards engagement. Comment if you have any thoughts. Just tell me how your day's going. That'd be great. And you can subscribe too if you want, but no pressure at all. Like, literally no pressure. Okay, better go now. Bye.